Hello there. So we finally got some details on this rent subsidy, and it looks a lot like the wage subsidy. I can't say I'm surprised, but well, I'm a little bit surprised by just how close it is to this wage subsidy. It basically mirrors it, which makes it easy to understand in a sense. Not that the wage subsidy was easy to understand, but it makes it familiar. Let's put it that way. It's a familiar subsidy. So let's go over some of those details that were provided to us. Keep in mind that these details are proposed for the first 12 weeks of the program, which means September 27th to December 19th, 2020. So that means that there could be changes to this program in the new year. They also haven't passed the legislation on this yet. They have drafted it, and it should pass pretty quickly. So these details might change a little bit in that process of getting the legislation passed. But yeah, we've got some details. So let's go through them. So the first thing that I think is super interesting is that it's called the rent subsidy, but it's actually a subsidy for eligible expenses. And rent is the biggest one of those expenses, but you can actually use other expenses, in this for this subsidy. So eligible expenses include commercial rent, obviously, property taxes, property insurance, and the interest on commercial mortgages. Residential property is not eligible. Residential property, like at all. Even if you're using your residential property to earn money, it doesn't matter. It has to be a commercial property to have eligible expenses, and it's capped at $75,000 in expenses per month, and the contracts have to be entered into before October 9th, 2020. The subsidy periods, so the amounts that you can get money for, are exactly the same as the CERS periods. So the ones that are relevant for the first 12 weeks are September 27th to October 24th, October 25th to November 21st, and November 22nd to December 19th. So we have information for those first three periods, and like I said, they line up with the CERS application periods. Just like with CERS, it's declining support based on your revenue. So if you had a decrease in your revenue of 70% or more, then you can get up to 65% of your eligible expenses subsidized. As your revenue amount, the decline in your revenue declines. So say it declines 50 to 69%, then it's 40% plus the drop in revenue minus 50% times 1.25. They're going to create, I'm sure, a spreadsheet just like they've done for CERS so that you can calculate the percentage of your eligible expenses that you can use. I will link to the backgrounder in the description so that you can go and have a look and do the calculation for yourself. But 70% or more, you get 65% of your eligible expenses. 50 to 69%, it's a drop off. Like as your revenue has increased, then your support has decreased, and all the way down to 1%. So if your revenue has decreased even a little bit, then you're eligible for this rent subsidy. So I think that's really interesting, and I kind of love that actually, that it's not that cliff that we saw with the programs like CERB, where if you made that $1,000, then that's just it, you're cut off. So it's a declining support as your revenue goes up. So I think that's really great. Eligible entities. So if as a company, you're eligible for this subsidy if you had a payroll account as of March 15th. You have a business number as of September 27th, which I actually don't know how you would have a payroll account without a business number, but two separate criteria, and you meet other conditions potentially prescribed in the future. So maybe they'll change the rules. I don't know. I think this is a really interesting piece of this, that you have to have a payroll account as of March 15th to qualify for this rent subsidy. I don't totally know how those two things are linked, but it's in the listing here. I wouldn't be surprised if they made a change to that detail, that eligibility, because like I said, I'm not totally sure how those two things are linked in terms of being able to target the businesses that need support and they need the rent relief. But yeah, it's in there for now. So it's a criteria for now. Look for that to change, though. I would expect that to change. A lot of the other stuff that's in this backgrounder here are, details on how to calculate your revenue declines, that kind of thing. Like I said, I'll link to the backgrounder, so if you're interested in doing the calculations yourself, then you can. And we don't have a date for applications. That's the biggest missing detail so far. We don't have a date for that. Like I said, I hope that this legislation gets passed quickly. I'm expecting like next week, hopefully, and then who knows how long it takes to get that portal up and running. But because they've got CERS going already, hopefully it's just like copy of that. I don't know how coding works, but maybe they'll just copy and paste the code. I don't know. If you have any questions about that, let me know in the comments. I'm happy to do what I can to answer them. I kind of have as much information as you do at this point, but let's chat about it. Leave them for me in the comments. If you're looking for free accounting and tax tips sent to you every week, then join my newsletter. I've left a link for that in the description already, kirkcpa.ca/news. That's kirkcpa.ca/news. Sign up, free newsletters every week. I hope you're doing well, and I'll see you tomorrow.